Hey, Kliq This fans, want to get closer to the show than ever? Join Kliq This TV. Kliq This TV offers early commercial-free access to wrestling's hottest podcast, plus live audience tapings of their show every friggin' week. Head to kliqthistv.com now and get inside the show that's just too sweet.
The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
Watching the opening, Kevin, I'm wondering if a vehicle has to be changed in our.
No, I mean, well, we never had a red Mustang, so we always. Cause I had the black Mustang for 18 years,
right?
And then I got rid of that, and I got that white 5.0. But yeah, I did. I on Saturday I bought a 74 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. So.
Maybe we're in the Mustang and we're being pursued, high-speed pursuit by the Cadillac Eldorado with a "fuck Biden" flag coming out of the back of it. Think of that animation. I saw the car. I was very impressed. I guess Tamara was doing some of the action shots for you there.
Yeah.
In the car behind you there.
Yeah, Tamara was following me.
Slow rolling it.
It was funny that nobody, because the minute she sent it, I said, oh, we're gonna get heat because you're driving the S class. She said, you can't tell I'm driving S class. I said, you can't if you don't know what a Mercedes fucking hood ornament is.
And I caught it on the steering wheel too.
Yeah, I'm just like I said, here we are, and 93% of the haters are telling me that I'm out of touch and I'm out buying 50-year-old fucking convertibles.
That's such a that's like a fucking, like, you got to do the arm out the fucking deal, right?
No, you got to pimp. You got to have the arm and you got to lean. So you got the right lean. And then I'm left-handed, so I drive left-handed.
Oh,
so I lean into the armrest.
Mm-hmm.
You got to, because that motherfucking the back of that chair hits me about where this M is. I mean, if I was to hit something, man, I'd die.
What color's the interior? What is
red?
It? Red leather.
Yeah, red leather.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So. How do you? Is there like a network of like? How you come across classic cars?
Well,
there must be like
I mean, you can
app or something.
There's a site that I go on a lot called Bring a Trailer, and you auction. They have auctions for all kind of like different. Like you just punch in 70s Eldorado convertibles, and then when one comes up, they'll have like it'll come up as like a feature vehicle, and they'll have a rundown. They'll show pictures. There's usually a start, and then they'll do when it takes off. The guy will take the car for a little spin, and so I've done those, and I won one of them. It was a 68.
Oh, there it is. That's the site then.
Yeah.
Right there. So you searched specifically for that model. Why that one, I wonder?
I had a 75 at one point in my life.
And this was a 7, and which one?
This is a 74.
Similar enough in body?
Oh, yeah, same. I mean, just pretty much the same car. Now, there's a master builder out in Albuquerque that does Cadillac engines, and this has one of those in it. So this engine's got headers. Like I think a stock 74 Eldorado, I want to think is 210 horsepower, and this is around 430, 450 horsepower.
So
this
can
thing-
you just change? Like, what else do you have to change when you put that much horsepower in it? There it is.
everything, drive, I mean,
Right. So you got to up. It's not just the
Yeah.
engine. You're upgrading everything to be able to handle
Yeah.
that kind of horsepower. That's
Yeah,
the
'cause
whip
you-
right there. If you're watching us,
yeah, I mean, yeah,
that's totally fucking Billy Bats in the trunk, man.
oh yeah,
That is.
absolutely. Mom,
That
I'm
is
going to
dope.
borrow this knife.
Yeah. Remind me. We'll bring it back. Yeah, you know, because I got the paw. Yeah, I can't leave it. It's a sin. So now, that's a fucking boat. Where are you putting that in the?
Oh man, so I didn't realize it. I don't know what that thing is. If inches wise, I want to think that it's 217 inches. Is that somebody want to look that up? See what a 74 Eldorado is in length. But I didn't realize until because the Bronco was in that spot where the Eldorado is,
Mm-hmm.
and I moved the Bronco Saturday down to here because I've got a registered spot underneath.
How long are we holding on to the Bronco, Kev? I mean, seriously.
Well, I'm thinking about like taking the top off it, putting on like a heavy duty roll bar, and then making the entire interior marine grade, like a boat. So we just have a bimini top on it, and that way, like my wife likes to paddleboard, so she could use it to take the paddle boards.
Oh, to haul the.
Yeah, to haul the paddle boards because she's
right.
got big, like they're big fucking.
She can't put that on her car, and
no, she can't put it on.
How does she get it out there now?
Usually we just put them in the back window of the Bronco. Put the window down, and the Bronco's got 4 bucket seats, like 4 captain. Like it's got 4 Recaros in it. So you put the back 2 seats up, but you put the board in the middle of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So the board, so that's what we do now. And I mean, I could do it where I could build a rack on the side of it, like just a thing that you could slide it into on the side of the Bronco.
Oh, that's what I thought you were describing. No, you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about like this Bronco will be completely. It'll be like a boat. The interior of it will be like the same as you would like a 27-foot Chris Craft. So if it rained, you just wipe it down with a towel, and then you just put the tail end down, and shove the boards in to wherever you want them, and then just bungee cord them down.
224 inches soft.
224. It's 224, and I think the S class is 209. So.
Are they really that close? I would not have guessed that.
S class is 209.
That there's 15 inches difference in the two cars.
Yeah.
I guess you know what, 15 inches is a lot.
15 inches from the fucking crack.
Absolutely, you measure.
Yeah, from the taint.
Yeah.
That's 11 soft and 4.
Right. Plus 4. Right.
Plus
exactly.
4.
So you're gonna have to leave. You have to leave the Bronco down there. There's no way you're getting all that.
Yeah. So what I'll do tonight is when I leave here, I'll start the Bronco up, so I keep that battery. Like yesterday, I took the Eldo out, and the guy had it on a slow trickle, but I didn't put it on a slow trickle when I brought it home, so it sat all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then I worked out, and then came home, and I said, and the gas gauge is fucked up on it, so I don't know how much gas is in it, and I said, let me just take it up to the Sunoco on Beachside, and I was just going to take it. That's probably like 3 miles up, and then I took it beyond that, and I went up to like, what is that, Silver Beach, right? Yeah, I guess that's Silver Beach. I went Silver Beach, and then I went Peninsula back home, down the river road, and I stopped by my buddy Joey's, and I turned it off, and the motherfucker wouldn't start.
That ever happened before?
No, I mean, this is the first time I drove the thing.
Oh, you're talking about the Cadillac.
Cadillac.
Oh, I think you meant the Bronco. Okay.
No, this is a Cadillac. This is yesterday.
Oh,
So I got this fucking and everybody and Joey lives on a corner, and he Airbnbs this house all the time. So it's like it's a doll of a house, and it's a short little walk to the ocean, and there's a 4-way stop right there. And that's kind of the back road of everybody that lives on beachside that doesn't want to, especially at that time of the day, you don't want to fuck with the people that are leaving the beach. You know, because then you got the 20-mile-an-hour crew, driving up and down that motherfucker. So, this is like Cardinal's one of the back roads that you take, and you got a lot of stop signs, but I'll take stop signs over a fucking, somebody with no turn signal any day. And so this thing's now parked, due south in front of his house on the corner, and everybody's going by going, "Sweet Aldo, man, what year is that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the motherfucker don't turn." It's sweet looking, isn't it? Yeah. But So Tamara had to come last night and bring the Mustang because it's got heavy duty jumpers. Because to jump the Bronco, you got to have heavy duty jumper cables.
right.
So. Yeah, it was an ordeal. We got home last night around 9:00, and Tamara ate before she came down, and then I came back and we watched the Olympics, and
it just needed a jump.
Yeah, it needed a jump, but it was it was fucking the battery was just dead, so it wouldn't, and because it's built, and it's not a normal engine. The starter and everything is so much upgraded because of the engine up, so you're basically
Exactly.
I think I'm gonna have to, like, the guy that owned it, he passed, rest in peace. The guy's name was Mike. The guy that owned it, I think he put it on the trickle charge, like, and I don't think he drove it much. I think this thing's had 300 miles since the rebuild. So there's like 300 miles on the engine, 300 miles on the drivetrain. And it looks like the interior's been completely redone, because there's no way that there's not a crack, crease, nothing on none of the leather. The only thing I can see is one of the cables on the over my shoulder. So looking out the front window would be over my left shoulder. There's a cable that goes up that pulls that part of the top down. It's got an electric top, and it looks like that nut is stripped out of there, so it pulls uneven. I mean, you could do it and then just stop and put it down to the last 8 inches by hand.
See, you knew enough about this particular model that, like, it was an educated buy. You could look at this thing and know what's missing or what hasn't been.
It's been so long since. Number one, bottom line is it's a Cadillac.
Yeah.
I mean, so like when growing up, man, we didn't talk about Mercedes and shit. Where I grew up. I mean,
no, the Caddy was the status.
Cadillac was yeah. And my Uncle Glenn, had a Cadillac. I think he had, I want to say every 2 years he got a new sedan DeVille. And then as he got older, he got Coupe DeVilles, convertible Coupe DeVilles.
This is an education for everybody out there Monday morning.
Yeah.
Monday
morning.
Shit,
man, like all those Cadillacs were built down there at the Fisher Body Plant. Right there off 75. Like that's where the Cadillac was made, right there.
Was that the one your dad was at?
No, my dad worked at Ford.
Oh, right. Ford. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Cadillac. It was It was Cadillac. What were the ones
Cadillac
that
is a
came out of the Cadillac
Chevrolet.
plants?
Cadillac is a Chevrolet.
Okay. Right. Chevrolet Cadillac.
It's under the G. It's under the
G
GM.
GM.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
All right.
it
See, I knew
was.
that. I don't know shit about cars. I knew that though.
Well, I mean, the Cadillac is still, you know, it's still the flagship of GM, where Lincoln is the flagship of Ford. Like Lincoln doesn't even make a vehicle anymore. They just make SUVs.
The was it
The
Navigator?
the only Ford automobile they make right now, if you take it's the Mustang. There's no other vehicle that's not
what
an
about
SUV.
so the Lincoln Town Car is over?
Gone. Oh God, long gone.
Oh, so we used to get driven home when I was
Well, that's it.
on Wall
How
Street.
do you take, you know, you're the marketing guy at Ford, and everywhere in the business world, it's called a town car service.
Yes.
I mean,
Or
you
black
get,
car. Black car was the other way.
but I mean, it was
referred
town
to.
car. It was. I mean, it was.
Yeah,
That's
the
what,
model was a town car. Absolutely.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And all of a sudden, you just go, you know what? Let's just stop fucking making that. You know, let's just stop making like what you couldn't tool like an assembly line somewhere and make 50,000 of those, because there's a lot of vehicles that they make nowadays, man, that don't sell 50,000 in a year.
Well, I was going to say, even if it wasn't a popular consumer purchase,
Just fleet it.
in the industry, it was
Unbelievable.
the standard bearer.
But you know what the problem with that is? Those things were, and I want to think it's a 4.7 or a 4.8 V8 in those things, but those things are known to do a half a mil. I've had buddies that had limo companies that got 700,000 miles on their town cars.
Yeah, if you took care of it, yeah.
Yeah, so
This is interesting to me. You think it's interesting to anybody? I mean, it's the promise of the show is you're at the bar with Kev, so you know.
Well, you know, I
this
mean,
is
we
how
could
it fucking goes.
we could talk about those Fox numbers.
I don't think anybody here wants to hear them.
No.
No, they're gone. I think.
I think
a bit of a purge.
Yeah, yeah.
Feels good, man.
I love when people say, "Dude, man, like, enough with the politics." Hey, you know what, man? I guarantee you, Dutch ain't talking politics. Go listen to my buddy Dutch.
Well, there's
You know?
a ton of wrestling shows that all kind of sound the same that you can go listen to.
I'm sorry, man. Like, okay, so I'm going to say this ahead of time so you don't waste any time listening any longer in the show. But lo and behold, my wife and I were watching the Olympics. I had the miscue with the Cadillac. By the time I got home and she went to bed and I went to watch Raw, boom, did not fucking tape it on Sci-Fi. And now I'm trying to fucking find it.
Right.
And I do not understand the Peacock latest Raw. It's like
delay. Yeah, there is a few week delay.
Roman Reigns is in the main event. I'm like, really? Is this the newest Raw you got on Peacock?
Yeah. There is
some black and white match with San Martino from the Garden. The newest Raw on Peacock. Yeah, let me drop $9 for that a month. Fucking.
LP1 was listening last week, Kev. They said it's 4 a.m. The episode didn't even drop yet, and there's already a bunch of people saying they're going to unsubscribe. Anyone who really unsubscribes, they just do it and walk away. They don't make it a point and let everyone know that they unsubscribed. Also, to anyone, is anyone really surprised that Kevin is supporting Kamala? Are you new here? If not, then how have you not been paying attention to what is talked about on this podcast? A fine point. It's so funny. Like, we've talked about Biden's policies, and we've had some fun at the right wing's expense for the last 109 episodes. Yet it took a woman of color, half color, whatever we're talking about.
She's of color?
To flush to flush the system of the toxins.
But what has she done? She's been given a pass. I didn't realize they gave passes to the U.S. Senate. Did you?
So, this is what they're saying. Oh, you mean what
Yeah,
has she done? Okay.
I didn't
You're
realize
asking
it. I mean, I guess I'll go be a prosecutor tomorrow.
Yeah.
Guess I'll be an attorney general of the great state of California. I mean, it's just
Because
like,
you can it's an entry level position. You can just walk in. You don't earn it.
no, it's like you can either you can go
to.
to the waste management and pick up trash and recycle, or you can be the attorney general. I think it pays right. It's like right in that same pocket.
The other thing too is it's a known thing, and you can research it. People don't like to do that, but you can do a little research. A vice president's role is to very much operate a step or 20 behind the leader of the free world. So they're active. They're definitely touting the.
Did anybody not watch the show Veep?
I haven't, but
oh my God, it's one of the greatest shows of all time. I watched every episode. It's like it was always the POTUS was shitting on her, and she'd be in some bullshit ice cream place, and I mean it was just never ending, that she never got a chance to do anything. It's just like, if you don't understand, I'm going to go ahead and have a CTE moment here, and just I've got to jump, because before we get into talking too much politics, was my brain trauma so severe? And I'm asking this especially for anybody out there that's put on a red hat and who Donald Trump is their guy, which is your absolute choice as an American. And but I know that I've taken a lot of shots, and you guys, you make it evident on some of your comments, because anytime I don't agree with you, I've got brain damage, when it's actually the other way around. But so in 2016, the same guy that's running now, who's informing us that this is the last time we'll ever have to vote.
I think it's just for the Christians, though. I think he said, but
well,
but
that's the new spin. But I took it as a Democrat sitting on my couch. I took it as, don't worry. But number one, like, dude, I know like a lot of people think a lot of you, but you're not immortal. So like, that's you're gonna have to deal with that sooner or later. But wasn't it the same cat that ran? I mean, his basic platform in 2000, when he ran against Hillary, was he was going to build the wall, and Mexico was going to pay for it.
Yeah, it happened, right?
No.
Oh,
I think they built 70 feet of wall. It's like
that we paid for, by the way.
No, it was actually like, I think it was like 38 new miles of. I don't know. I don't have it. I'm not gonna. It's so minuscule to what he said he was going to do, and he was trying to get Department of Defense money at one point to do it, because I guess Mexico wasn't in agreement the whole time he was telling us that Mexico was. So there was a border situation then, because he ran on it, and he didn't do anything to solve it. COVID made it possible to absolutely shut the borders down. And unless we get another pandemic, I just don't. I mean, people say, "Oh, well, you're fine with the way." I said, if Kevin Nash was president, I might put a minefield across that motherfucker. No, I don't. I don't. I don't want people. I don't want open borders. I don't want people with with guns that we provide them, coming
Right.
back in and causing crime. But I also, to the people that point out the fact to me that these illegal immigrants are getting $400 hotel rooms in New York City. Yeah, they're getting $400 hotel rooms in New York City after after Abbott puts them
Abbott
on a
bust 'em
fucking
up.
bus and sends them to fucking New York City and every other sanctuary city. It's like, guys, we got to get on the same page here, you know? Then one guy said, I just want to go on record to say that from my understanding, it's cost us almost $2 billion to house and take care of these illegals. $2 billion? Do you know what our fucking deficit is? The one that's in red?
Mm-hmm.
That fucking is like at 100 trillion?
Mm-hmm.
Like, really? $2 billion? What's that, like fucking weekend at Bernie's worth of fucking 200 or 2,000 pound bombs to Israel?
You know, I don't want to go MAGA on everybody, but like, the immigration issue is a little fucked because, first of all, it's nothing new. I mean, I remember the discussion during the Obama administration.
Yeah, name an administration. I can't name a time in my life where it wasn't a fucking problem.
There wasn't a time in your life when it wasn't a problem. It's just the problem now, and I have to fault Biden a little bit, or his people, whoever's pulling the strings there, that they were more worried about the messaging of how to handle immigration than they were about a solution. And that's where I understand why Donald Trump got elected in 2016, because they were tired of politicians like that, right? Because that's a very political Washington thing to fucking do. Oh, what's the messaging here for the party? You know,
it's the I call it the Ellis Island message. You know, that this country was built on immigration, and therefore we should have this open door policy. And it's just like
but it wasn't an open door policy then either.
No,
which is
yeah, that's the whole thing. Because you can't teach history anymore. You know,
it's not state tested, so fuck it. Get it in if you can.
You know, so it's like it's one of those situations where, but at the same time, and I don't know what the numbers are economically, but I know it's over $1 trillion that the illegals are responsible for in agriculture as far as in our economy. Because ain't no white people out in them fucking fields picking shit.
Yeah, no, I get that, but
you know, so I mean, there's an ebb and flow, and you got to find a happy medium. But
it's a metric that has to be monitored.
Yes,
and you tighten or loosen the gauges depending on that number. But they were too scared in the last 4 years to do that because of what it would look like for the Latino vote specifically.
But then at the same time, and it was absolutely a political stunt. It was too much, too late. But Biden put that the bill together. He had it put together by that very conservative Republican, who, when he did the State of the Union, he said, "Hey, did we try to put this through?" But the Republicans already said, "No, man, you've caused this arbitrage. We're not going to let you get bailed out."
More politics.
And in the meantime, see, they'd rather play politics.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides,
right? But
both sides. They'd rather play politics than ever do anything for the American people. And then everybody sits there and says, "Well, you're out of touch with the middle class person. You're out of touch. Like, I have to work this and I have to work that." Why don't you look at that plan 2025 that I know that Trump in no way, form, or fashion is saying that he's behind it, but look at the 60-hour work weeks where they can lump them together and you get no overtime. Like look at some of these nice little tidbits that they've got for the middle class in there before you put on your red hat and run your mouth and tell me I got brain damage, because it's not going to affect me.
Never got that. None of the policies will service the middle class.
Never.
It's frightening. They talk about tax cuts. They'll never see them. They'll never see them at that. We had graphs for people, if you want to go back. I don't remember what episode it was, but we brought you some graphs
Yes.
to where the tax cuts benefited.
And I'm going to say, I want everybody out there to know for a fact, I'm 65 years old. I have forgotten 80% of what most of you motherfuckers out there will know, or commonly, right now, know yourselves. I grew up in an 800 square foot house, and I in no way had a silver spoon anywhere in my mouth. My father died when I was 8 years old. Grew up during the riots, and then after that, in '68, the year my father died, he happened to die on the exact same day as Martin Luther King, and shit hit the fan again. I promise you, I did not wake up at birth and my mom was holding me on the teacups at fucking Disneyland. I mean, and don't tell me I don't know, I'm out of touch. Oh, he's been a millionaire. You know what? So the guy that wins the lotto, right? The guy that wins the lotto, and he's been a welder for 30 years. All of a sudden, what, man? He's rich now. He's a millionaire. He has no idea what it is to fucking put a hard day's work in. How is it I look the way I do at 65 years old? Because I'm undisciplined? Because I'm not motivated? Because I'm not fucking a one percenter? Why? You explain it to me. How did I make it with no dad out of fucking the south side of Detroit? How did I become a multimillionaire? Nothing was handed to me. So why? Because why? I have more drive than you? I'm more disciplined? God made me, God made me 6'10", if you want to go with the Christian National fucking group. I mean, I don't know. All I know is fucking do something. Quit bitching. Quit typing shit about how fucking bad you got it, and fucking get there. There's plenty of jobs out there. I worked 3 fucking jobs to put my wife through school. Cash. We don't have no student loans. I put my wife through school fucking bouncing. Don't tell me I don't know shit about fucking putting in a day's work. Fuck off.
There's an inherent class envy in this country, and what a lot of people fail to make the distinction between is who inherited the money and who worked for the money. I understand someone talking about some, nepo.
Yeah, it would be nice to fucking
kids or something, but
yeah, it would be nice to wake up and have 417. Hey, Sean, I'm gonna give you $417 million. Think you could fucking do good with that?
Do something with it, yeah.
Besides bankrupt 6 times?
No, but no, agreed. Heathen Trucker said Kevin Sean might be doofs sometimes, but my God, this is still my favorite podcast. Heathen, is that because we are doofs? Maybe so we should keep the doofusness going for you. I don't know.
Isn't everybody a doof? I mean, is there a bigger doof than Musk?
He's pretty high he's like a 3-star doof. Like he's
right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a doof, man.
The dilf is a phrase too. I hear thrown around. MILF was very long, and then I occasionally catch my daughters and friends go, "Oh yeah, such a dilf."
That's like a zaddy.
Is that what I think that is?
Like
no,
what's a zaddy? That's like a dad that an older guy that younger.
A fuckable old man.
Yeah.
All right. Jen Vargo.
I was told by a girl once she'd like me to be her zaddy. And I said, "You mean your daddy?" She said, "No, zaddy." She said, that's why it works, because you don't know what it is." And then I asked somebody else, and I said, "Oh,
that.
so she wanted to fuck me."
Correct. Jen Vargo says, freaking love the kayfabe bromance Kev and Sean have. I'm holding. I don't put out, though. I make him keep fucking waiting.
So my buddy Adam Rodriguez, he watched the show.
Yeah.
And he watches or watches the show. I think he listens to it more. But anyway, he popped when he said, I really like Sean. He said he had me laughing out loud the last episode when Sean said, we were talking about dog food, and you said, because he's been a millionaire. Like you he said the timing was perfect. He said it was like one of those laugh out loud moments of the show. I said, yeah. I said, fuck. I said, we don't.
What were we were talking about dog food last week?
Yeah, because remember I was.
I have
about
CTE. What?
Karen Heigl or whatever that actress.
Oh, the celebrity endorsed or created.
Yeah, and it was like I was saying how Cooper reacted to it like it was fucking crack.
Right, I do remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, no,
I think the fucking thing's like 3 pounds, and you.
No, we just Tamara took him to get his allergy shots, and he weighed 11 pounds 9 ounces.
Wait a minute. That dog is 11 pounds. Yeah. You know what though? I have to say, when there was a shot of him on. Tamara must have put it up on Insta or something. You're eating something, or you're
That's
feeding.
Fine. He's trying to get. I had salmon, pepper, and white rice, and he was sitting. I have a blanket over my legs. I'm watching TV, and he's coming up to like beg for food. Right. And yeah, he's fucking. He's a.
Right. You know what? I'm thinking in proportion to you too. There. Okay.
Yeah.
So there. Right. I'm forgetting the 6'9"ness of.
We got the. That's called the tea tree. In the background,
oh,
that's
a
white.
Yeah.
That's a white tree with Chanel bottles on it, and then it's got Tristan's sunglasses.
I see them. Yeah.
So yeah, Tristan's sunglasses they're right there. You can see his sunglasses. So that's the tea tree. We like that every night. And then there's a knobby thing, that pink thing I put behind my fucking neck on my C1, C2.
That actually can we be honest? That's a cock sleeve. That's what that's looking like to me right there. That's getting slipped on. I see the little.
Yeah, well, it could be. And then
nodules.
We got this. It's sitting over there next to me. My G code bottle.
How are we doing with the? You know what I wanted to ask too. In the pre-show, we were looking at.
I got to get these guys to give me a new one of these G code. Help a brother out. It's the metal one.
Metal one. We were looking at some footage of you in that. What the fuck was that show called? The dinner for three, table for three.
I think it was Table for Three, right?
There was the Jon Favreau show, Table for Five, where like the actors and directors would sit around, and I guess this is Dinner for Three.
They ripped it off. The
Imagine.
WWE ripped it off. Get the fuck out of here.
Imagine. But anyway, so it's you and Waltman and Scott, and you're sitting there. You got the shades on, and in true Kliq fashion, maybe a little tired, perhaps. I don't know.
Or fucking absolute no on hour like 36 with no sleep.
How many bottles are being filled under the table was what I was going to ask you. That Steve, do you have the
on
still?
Something like that? No, on something like that, you just get up.
You do. All right.
And you make sure that you keep your mics and everything on so they can listen to you piss.
Oh, just walk right in with the pack. Don't mute it. Anything, right?
Nothing.
I just figured maybe you took the hog out under the table, and maybe Stephanie or Linda comes in the production facility.
I have like a 4:00 flight that day out of Dallas. I mean, I'm going from there. I'm going to go up to my room, take a dump, and sleep.
Very good, David McCutcheon. Kev is overthinking the Jersey, Florida. Unnecessary aggression is Jersey. Idiotic behavior is Florida. That one was all about resonance. David's got it.
No, he doesn't.
He's got a formula.
Everybody's Everybody's it's like everybody's got a plan. They get punched in the face. Remember where the first person with bath salts ate the human being at? Okay, that was this state. Wasn't New Jersey. So
That was stupid behavior.
That's not stupid behavior. That's cannibalistic. You can't be more violent than to eat another human's face.
I think that might have been the first week that we did it, that somebody ate somebody's fucking face off, right?
Know.
That's tremendous that you remember that.
Yeah, it's bad.
This dispels the entire CTE thing. Yeah. I don't even think you were working.
No, that's my whole thing. My wife will look at me sometimes and she'll be like, "How do you remember everything?" And I'm like, "No, I just remember everything of importance." I said, "When it comes to bullshit,
the face eating on bath salts is free.
Yeah, that's important.
Or if you're trying to pull one out and you got to go into the memory bank, right? You got to go back. You got to pull out a go-to from 1970, whatever. I'm guessing.
Eddie and the Cruisers.
I'm baiting you. Ruben Pelosi, or Polizzi, I should say. I don't know, man. I've been doing this for years, and Adobe has never added farts when leveling audio. Have to tell my post-producer this. Yeah, we got to the bottom of some.
Well,
I didn't see any comments, by the way, this week about the fart noises.
Yeah, I didn't hear any audio. So I guess if we're not too political, then you got nothing to do but pick at the audio, and then if we ball kick you with just the thumbnail, you're already up in arms, and I mean,
unbelievable.
We're shitting in a fucking in a spaghetti pot during the show, and you're like, I don't hear anything.
You could have been smoking Biden's pole in a thumbnail, and you wouldn't have had pre-show unsubscribes.
No. How do you get pre-show unsubscribes? It's just like, dude, if you're that much of a racist, I swear, man, we don't want you. Like,
it was the purge. It feels good this week, man. I think
it's you know what? Good. Like, it's my Instagram. I lost 7,000 people, but it's like the rest of I look and there's like 143 joined one day, and I'm not a numbers guy. But I look at it and I'm just like, see, it's like when you basically drop 7,100 and below IQ people off of your fucking Instagram, it's a much better place to be.
Because it raises the IQ average of the room.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's just like, there's only so many Patricks that can be in Bikini Bottom. And I think that, like, the 5 Patricks that decided that they would watch it. Well, you fucking did it this time, Nash. Unfollow. I pull the guy up. He's still following me. And he's following 712 people. He's got 8 followers. And he's done 4 posts. It's like, really? Like, why are you even fucking making a comment on my fucking thing?
Your SpongeBob go-to is pretty strong. Your SpongeBob game is pretty strong.
T was a huge. I used to be this character, this make-believe character when he was a kid called Nugget, and like when I'd come over, and. When Tam and I were separated, I'd come over and he'd be like, "Dad, I'm tired of playing with you, man. Did Nugget come?" I said, "Yeah, he's downstairs." So I'd walk out of the room. I'd come by, go, "Hey, T," and I'd just fuck up everything. We'd be playing, like, making Lego high rises, and I'd knock shit over, and he would just laugh his ass off.
What year was he born?
96.
96. Okay, so what was the hot fucking toy. I guess it was all video games for that generation.
Well,
right?
I mean, I remember I think he was either 1 or 2 when Tickle Me Elmo was like the fucking, that was like the hardest thing on earth. And I remember when like the PlayStation 2 came out, I remember paying like bootleg $900. And I think that system was like $199. I paid
Probably,
$900.
yeah.
I paid $900 for it.
Hmm.
Like he always had, he had the Halo version of the Xbox, and then like he had that thing like a year and it red ringed on him. He had, we had so many Xboxes that red ringed that he was just like, fuck man, I'm just not gonna play. I'm just not gonna play Xbox anymore. And he was just strictly. So last night I went upstairs and I'm sleeping in his room, so I get a little more adventurous because his TV is cut on a couple of times. So the other day I turned on Netflix. I'm like, and there's Tristan's Netflix account, so I turned it on. I watched a movie or two. Actually, last night I watched The Equalizer with Denzel.
Mm-hmm.
Been a while. Great movie. Denzel's so fucking good. It's just like name 5 great Denzel movies, and you're like, bloop, and you're like, well, fuck, I didn't even touch. It's just like God. I mean, I love the movie Flight. I love Training Day, Man on Fire, Equalizer, Book of Eli or Lie, whatever that one is. That's
But
5.
isn't he a little bit of a monotonous note? I mean, is it where's can you show me something of range? I haven't seen all of his stuff, but he was actually using my first film was Philadelphia that I did. And he played the attorney, he played Hanks' attorney in that. But isn't it always kind of the same delivery,
Shit,
kind of
man,
the same
no, fucking
note?
Training. No, he got an
There's
Oscar
range
for
there?
yeah,
There's some
Training
Sean Penn
Day.
moments there? Yeah.
Training, shit, man, you got to watch Training Day.
Was it Ethan Hawke?
Yeah, he got an Oscar. He got an Oscar for that film.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll watch it again.
If you haven't watched it 30 fucking times,
No, I haven't watched it 30 times.
what is that?
The one I might have seen was.
What is that? Is that an urban film? I mean, I don't know. If you is it not on the white boy list? Training Day.
Listen, I'm down, bro. I'm fucking
Yeah,
down.
but how many times have you seen the movie Belly?
I don't even know it.
I watched that about 4 nights ago. It was on something.
We could talk sweetbacks.
Boombalai by.
Well, I'll go a little Melvin Van Peebles with anybody. I'm down with the genre, the blaxploitation.
Yeah, but that's blaxploitation. That's the white boy shit.
Did you catch the Eddie Murphy when he played Rudy Ray Moore in like the Rudy Ray Moore, like the story of his life and how he made all the films, but like kind of his rise to 70s blaxploitation. Dolomite,
Dolomite.
I think it was called. Was it called Dolomite? The film. Yeah. Okay.
The one that I like is Pootie Tang. That's a classic.
How hot was Pam Grier though?
Pam Grier, I remember the first time I saw her, she was in that movie Coffee.
Yes.
Pam Grier was
all of her was in Coffee. And there's a lot.
If you liked Pam Grier, you were the same kid that had a copy of Jugs between your mattress and your box springs.
I read it for the articles.
Yeah. What was that?
Leg show. No.
No, I'm trying to think if she was she was always in those. She was like a blonde-haired lady, but she was always in those Jug candy samples.
Sure.
Do you remember Candy Samples?
Yeah, I need to see it, but
Oh God, Candy Samples. That's when the magazines were black and white. I used to peep those at my uncle's house. In the half bath, they'd be sitting in with a couple of Field and Streams and have one of those fucking tucked inside of the Field and Stream with little Candy Samples action.
to get his stream
Steve,
going.
we gotta.
Can I get a visual on Candy Samples, for God's sake,
Candy
Steve? One that's not
Samples
going to
there.
get us thrown off of YouTube.
Yeah,
While you look for that, Kev, I wanna tell you.
what doesn't get us demonetized?
I can't seem to find that one. They're all wonderful, but I can't show them.
Right. Can you draw? Can you put a bar over
Can
it?
you can you just show her face?
Right, because I'd remember that.
Well,
That was memorable. Kev Titans Rule wrote in and said that he saw Deadpool and Wolverine over the weekend, and when he saw the blonde-haired Russian in the void, and you were not the guy, it pissed him off.
well, obviously I'm not.
Well, they got Kevin Owens to do it at least. They kept it in the business.
Yeah,
I
that
see
doesn't even. That looks nothing like the character I played. That looks nothing like the Russian. Well, it looks like they gave somebody a favor.
Now, is that Candy Samples left one that that's barreling down the road there? No, what is that? Oh, there's the okay. So that's him standing. That's a picture of the Russian that was blown up there. Okay. Yeah. No, they went a different direction, Kevin. Clearly.
But I love when people say, "Oh, Nash is trolling for movie parts." Hey guys, again, man, I'm 65 years old. What do you think? What I want to do in life is I want to go someplace that's not my crib and be in a hotel and work a 12-hour day and then leave and go home. And while I cook and prepare my meal and eat it, go over lines for tomorrow. And then while
Get
I
up
sit
at 5.
while I sit in makeup the next day, have somebody run lines with me. And then every time I get a break, run lines again before we shoot a scene or a scene we're not in, or find somebody to run lines with. Because the key to anybody that's ever acted in their life is once you get your lines and find the character, number one. Once you know your lines, if you don't know your lines, you can't fucking get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Well, this is why, and you can understand this. When I fell into the world of looping and ADR and doing voice work on films, instead of having to the scramble of the rat race of getting the part and then, the makeup and trailers and the waiting and all that shit. And I was like, wait, what? I go to the studio at this time, go in, do 10 lines, and you're ready for me when I get there in a studio.
Yeah, but ADR is not easy.
Money. No. The skill is hard. It came natural to me for some reason, but
and then fucking, I've done ADR enough where I went and do I did ADR for the Punisher fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
I went into a theater that was in Los Angeles that at one point showed had one screen. And I walked in there and they ran my fight scene on the screen, and I just did the But I mean, you're like going with it, and I mean, I went through that thing probably 12, 15 times.
Sure, yeah.
And it was just like, I said to myself, this is a motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, certainly, yeah, and the timing and nailing all that stuff. And I've had to do physical stuff. I think I talked about it on one of the episodes where I had to revoice a guy's sex scenes for the entire film in The Reader with Kate Winslet. That's me that you're listening to. But the trickier stuff is like when they show you a scene in a restaurant and they're like, Sean, see the guy behind Robert Downey with the with the red shirt. Just watch him as I play this scene down. Kind of watch his lips and see if you can figure what he's doing. All right, you ready? Okay, and hit the beeps, and you're on, and you're coming up with dialogue to match the lip flap and the intention in his face and everything, and that's where it is certainly a special skill. I don't know where it came from.
I watched some of that the dub on Netflix, man, and some of that shit's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they dub those films. You know, I mean, there's
from
and
other
my whole
languages,
thing
yeah.
is, man, I'll back away from a dub film in a heartbeat if it's just, but if it's critically acclaimed, then it's just like, all right,
Yeah.
you know. But if it's like all of a sudden I'll look up, oh, this is fucking off, and all of a sudden I'll pull it up on IMDb, and you know the lead guy is 59,472. I'm like, I'm fucking watching this.
That's
Like, there's nobody in this thing.
You know what's critically acclaimed? You mentioned critically acclaimed. I'm going to play off there for a minute. CREMO. People loving CREMO. We're getting compliments and comments about CREMO. If you know what we're talking about, we are talking about the smooth scent of perhaps bourbon, which I know the bourbon vanilla was a contested scent in your home for a while, but Tamara kind of came around, right? I'm hearing.
I think she did. Yeah, she did on both. I mean, she likes them both now, and I actually creamoed before I came down here because I trained back today, and then I was a little funkadelic, so I creamoed and came down.
Yeah, I'm rocking the bourbon vanilla in the shower currently.
I'm rocking. I have them both. I've got both.
The bergamot and
both scents. So,
you know, the great thing about it is you almost don't need, when you're done with it, to put anything else on, like a cologne or anything, because it's subtle. You're not going to knock anyone over, but it lasts. And the really cool thing is the body wash is the rich lathering and hydrating formula is meticulously balanced, and it's a multi-layered fragrance. Okay, it's a superior shower experience, and it actually builds as it lathers, and it's an invigorating shower experience, if I do say so myself. Bold distillers, spices, perfectly balanced with rich notes of rich Madagascar vanilla and aged oak to create a shower experience that meets even the highest of standards. Please check out CREMO's newest men's body wash. And you can do this by going to Walmart or walmart.com, perhaps, and checking it out. Grab that bourbon vanilla, see what we're talking about. Go to Walmart or walmart.com. CREMO. I'm starting to see it all over the place. It's astonishingly superior, as you see there. And something
I'm glad that I have the a different top on mine. Does yours have like a push thing where you squeeze?
It's got the one. It's got like that half circle that you push down and it pops up.
Mine has that one.
Oh, was that graphic a different?
That was a pump one. I always have problems with those.
Interesting.
My wife has like this $high lotion that sits on and I don't know if it just doesn't like the weight of my hand or whatever, but she'll fucking get 2 squirts. I'll go for it. I can't get shit. I'll be like, she's like, you can't fucking muscle it.
You can't muscle it right. Sometimes too much is too much.
God, that was a horrible. My wife doesn't sound anything like that.
I was going to say, I'm sure she'd appreciate that impression.
Why did I give my
Miss Piggy meets?
I was sitting there the other day, and I was just having a conversation with her about something, and she was taking plants from the trunk of the car out by the pool, and her and her mom were gonna plant them. And it was like, oh man, it was like 95 degrees, 90% humidity. I was sick from being outside. I tried to get some sun earlier in the day, and I decided I was going to walk on the beach, and I got about a mile and said, whoa, like this ain't going to happen. So I came back in, and I'm talking to her, and she's like doing 10 things, And I said to myself as she, with her demeanor and everything, I'm like, she's the sweetest human being in the world. Like she just, I'm just thinking like, man, this like, she lost her son, she got stuck with me, and she fucking has a great attitude. Like, wow, like what a, like, and she's not religious, she's very spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are like, what does that mean? You know, I want to ask her. Um, but whatever it is, man, it's a good thing because she's one of those people. I think I know her grandmother was a huge influence in her life. And her grandmother was a very classy woman, worked years and years in a textile plant in Troy, North Carolina area. And her grandmother died of lung cancer.
Mm.
Was a smoker. But I think that her grandmother was one of those people that was like, if you don't have anything nice to say about somebody, just don't say anything at all. I think that's kind of what she was brought up that way. I mean, 37 years of being around my fucking Detroit ass is, you know,
That's why so many people say they want to hear the show where she shoots on the legend contract here, Bubba. She talks about her life with Nash. She wouldn't though. She wouldn't tell tales out of school. She's too much of a lady.
No, but at the same time, it's just like she says all the time, "That's your shit. That's your like." You and I are not the same. Yeah, we're pretty close when we're on the telephone to each other. But it's more. You're a little bit more on when you're doing a show than you are just sitting in a car. I mean, it's just so. She's like, I don't have that. Like, I'm not a performer. I'm me. I don't have, you know, I'm not going to be able to, get excited over something. Or she said, I'm not a storyteller. And I'm like, didn't say you had to do the show, babe.
Is she an Insane Clown Posse fan by any chance?
No.
No. A lot of people are, Kev. And
I am.
you know those boys.
And you know what the thing was that was cool was when Eric brought them in, they're over as they're over in the music genre, and they've but I mean they're good hands.
Mm-hmm.
They were fun to wrestle. They were.
Well, we'll probably talk about that this Wednesday. If you're listening on Monday when this drops, August 5th, this Wednesday night, August 7th, for our KliqThisTV.com subscribers, our friends, our 11 Soft Club, you're going to come to a very special taping this Wednesday night, August 7th at 7, when Violent J sits right here with me and Kev and all you guys that are the 11 Soft subscriber club. And he's ready. I mean, he's got a lot of shit he wants to talk to you about probably about the 313, but also
I hope I don't have any heat with him.
No, I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out. We'll put out a thumbnail. We'll see.
See
him hugging you.
See if he unsubscribes on us.
Exactly. So join us if you're not a member of the 11 Soft Club yet, and you want to be part of that live taping here. You're going to go to KliqThisTV.com and do so. Powered by Patreon, I can proudly say. Something I wanted to bring up. I saw Shawn Michaels was talking about the SummerSlam ladder match with Scott, because SummerSlam's upon us. We'll be covering that next week. But
the one in Pittsburgh.
He was talking about 95, I guess, right? SummerSlam 95.
Yeah.
And the difficulty in trying to top that ladder match.
It wasn't even that as much
the first
as Vince was also going going for a different demographic. And the first one, they were able to use the ladders as a weapon, and Vince didn't want that violent aspect of the match. And
if you watch that match and you keep that in mind, not knowing that, you might not have noticed, but the quote was from a Fightful article right here at Fightful.com. I want to give credit to from where it comes, but Michaels did say, quote, actually the story's from Fightful, but the quote was from Sports Illustrated. Michaels said, "This one was very different. The whole story going into it was different and very challenging. I will say this, Scott and I did everything we could to make it epic, I think it was. Sequels are always tough, but this is the one I think that doesn't quite get the recognition it deserves. There's a simple reason for it. It's number 2. Number 1 is always first." But they say here, actually, in a kayfabe commentary shoot interview covering WWE's 1995, Kevin Nash remarked that Scott Hall and Shawn Michaels were told shortly before the match occurred that they were not allowed to use the ladder as a weapon, trying to keep the family-friendly image. This is before the Attitude and
you know who we were in? God, where I forget. I want to think we were in Worcester at like a Hampton Inn, and we were all sitting, and all 5 of us were in a room, sitting on across from each other on 2 beds. I think Scott was sitting at the table on the chair turned around, and we were kind of sitting. So we were all, we were going over different ideas on the match, and nobody was getting anywhere. And Scott got fucking pissed because I kept fucking around, and everybody kept fucking around. I said, "What right there? You drop down and fucking give each other a pipe job. Come on, you fuckers!" And Paul, Paul said well, how about this? And Paul laid out some really nice, groundwork on some shit that they were able to start to water. And I remember that was that was the first time that I just realized how good Paul was psychology wise, because that was what that was. That wasn't a move. That wasn't so much a match that was based on moves as much as it was going to be based on psychology.
Mm.
So
when you go into a match like that, you always reference the ladder match at with Paul at the Garden, right? And
the one that I had with Paul. No, that was in the Baltimore Civic.
What was the
Arena.
What was the pay-per-view though? What?
Tables, ladders, and chairs.
Okay.
And fucking go home.
So, with the ladder specifically, right? As far as a specialty match, cage. It's going to be the standard shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a cage, there's only so many ways you could work a cage. But the ladder specifically, there's so much stuff that you can do with it. And we've seen it all by now.
Absolutely, yeah. There are so many ways you can get hurt.
That's true. Right. So, right. Translation.
Yeah. Fuck that.
But this leads me to my point, to my question. Do you have to, just strictly for safety, let's say, I was thinking of botching a move, but let's just say safety. Do you have to go over prior all of the ladder spots? Like when to bring it down, when to bring it up. You call that when you're out there. But the shit you're going to do with the ladder.
Yeah, and Paul and I had 3 fucking minutes to put that shit together. He was busy all day. I couldn't have picked a worse scenario to basically be my last match.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's just I get it. I don't get a last match because I didn't need one to find peace in my life.
Right.
I didn't have a last basketball game. So,
you've got to go.
That number one, bottom line, your ass has got to fall off of that motherfucker
at some
point, and either ball shot, hit the turnbuckle, or just flat back from 14 feet. You're doing it. going through a table. I mean, it's just, and you're gonna get slammed on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's and you're fucking 300 plus pounds, so it's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you get slammed on it. It's gonna land. It's depending on the geometrics of the situation. There's a real good chance that part of that ladder is gonna coincide with one of your cervicals or your lumbars, or
Mm-hmm.
you know.
There's no way to gimmick a ladder. That's, you know,
No,
it is what it is.
it is. Yeah, it's insanity. That girls ladder match that they just had was just.
Sean's best match, ladder match with Scott, WrestleMania.
I mean, I think a lot of people would say with Hell in a Cell with Taker.
Okay.
You
Your
know,
personal
I mean,
preference?
he's God, he's had so fucking many good ones. You know.
But your best match with him?
Well, my best match with him was
Bitter Friend? What was
yeah,
that called?
Omaha.
Yeah.
In Your House, Omaha.
Right, that was In Your House. That's right.
Yeah.
Bitter Enemies, Best Friends, something like that?
Yeah. Because I got that WrestleMania 11. I'm a better heel than I'm a babyface, especially working with Shawn. So my best matches are always when I'm a heel.
Why?
Too fucking big to sell. It's hard
But
to get
stylistically, you were the same in both, right?
No, there's just those little tweaks, and you know, just the mannerisms. You cheat. You know, you punch first. I mean, those used to be huge things. So you know, you lock up with somebody in a corner and you break, and the baby face would fucking do the clean break and back up. And then you do the same thing. You flip him around, take his back in the corner. Referee gets in there, breaks, and as you're breaking, you reach over the top and fucking pop him. And it's like,
Wesley wants to ask you about the super kick. Wes,
what's that?
Sean talks about it in his book.
Bring
your mic up.
Kev, I always kept meaning to ask you about the super kick thing with you, Vince, and Sean.
At WrestleMania?
Oh, that was there's a super kick in there, and it's like something. Don't they we end up having to, like, the spot was like Sid was gonna pull the referee out or something like that, and we knew we'd lose the people, and we were like, Vince, we're gonna lose the people there, and he's like, no, and then we went ahead and put a move in there with a false finish on top of that to make sure we got the people back. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Sean talked about it in his book a little, but it didn't make a ton of sense. It was like about you kicking out of the super kick, and Vince wanted you to, and you guys doing the other thing. But I always like to mention it to you.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, and we fought with him all day on that, and then lo and behold, when the time came down, and it didn't work, and we were right. It was like before Sean and I even went into our plan, we just acknowledged each other, like, right, like we were right, motherfucker. We're out in the proving grounds 27 days a month. I think we got this.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I mean, ladder matches as far as
this should be interesting. So the next show that we do, because the reason we're doing this show today is Thursday. I'm flying to Cleveland to SummerSlam. So this will be the first show that I have been to live since Paul Levesque, Triple H, has been the boss. So this will be the first time where I didn't have, Vince sticking his nose back in it, like in the one in LA.
Right. So that's good. We should get a. That'll be fun to cover.
Yeah, and I'll give you guys kind of the
Be like an investigative reporter. Tell us how it
runs.
I'm
gonna see like who's got heat, who I got heat with, that I can kind of tell I got heat with.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know for a fact that I'm not gonna have heat with anybody. I've never had heat with anybody.
I never had a problem.
I never had a problem.
And if you get some selfies with
I know what
thumbnail.
I'm gonna go to SummerSlam and I'm gonna fanboy. I'm gonna see if I can get a picture with Logan Paul, like all the guys that I don't know me, and I'm gonna take it over the top on every, like, I don't really know Gunter, so that's perfect. Like, hey, man, I'm not, and wait till they're like putting a match together and then slide it. Excuse me, you got a minute?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Just
we used to do them. That was all. You busy right now? Yeah, I'm going over my match. Oh, I'm sorry. Go walk away. 10 minutes later, Scott come by. Hey, you got a second? I'll put my match together. Oh, fuck, sorry, I didn't know. Let's see. Cody's my buddy. Logan Paul, LA Knight, I could definitely slide in there during them putting something together.
You'd slide into the ring for that one, too.
I might have to.
Yeah,
Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker. I know that Robbie and Scotty are going to be there with me watching that. It could be a Michigan massacre. Right. We could fucking the Steiners and Nash all hit the ring from the thumb state. With Gretchen fucking up in the box. Punk McIntyre. Gonna be a good one.
Yeah. So that's something to look forward to next week, everybody.
Cody going fourth.
But not necessarily the order, though, right? This is just kind of what's on deck.
I bet you that's the order.
Yeah. I don't know. So that's a little incentive for you guys to listen next week. I know it happened. As you listen to this Monday. And you can go listen to like coverage of by everyone else, but you're going to get Nash's coverage who's there next week, and it's worth the wait. Go listen to Cornette do his review. And then next week, we're going to talk about what went on backstage. Kev's going to give us the bird's eye view.
And yeah, I'll be giving you the from the box, man, live. Boom.
Exactly. Listen, Kev, it's time for the tap out. Brought to you by, because it was so successful last week. We brought it back. BLUECHEW. BLUECHEW successful.
Well, yeah, that's
every week, no matter when you take it.
There's no downside to BLUECHEW. So I mean,
no.
The sooner we can get the tap out of the way, the sooner we can, get the old
pop our BLUECHEW.
Get the old hog fucking ready for action.
Our sponsor for this segment.
Did you see the message I left you when you were at that meat place?
I did. What's it like knowing Kevin Nash? This is exactly what it's like. You put up a thing. You're gonna barbecue. Nice weather. I went to the meat market to get some fresh cuts. Said hi to Tony Soprano at Satriali's. Went inside to get the meat. I post the thing for the 22nd Street Meat Market. Nice comment. Good day. Kevin Nash. Any good hog hanging out in there? Says Meat Market. Yes.
That was from me and Sean Waltman.
What's that?
That was from me and Sean Waltman.
Well, were you together?
Yeah.
Meat gazing?
Yeah. So.
But yes.
Oof. But, I love a oof. Oof.
But speaking of meat, BLUECHEW, if anyone doesn't know, for God's sakes, is the unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost in chewable form. This is the real deal. It works like a mother. You've seen the ads. You've heard the talk. Now it's time for you to try it. This is not Grandpa's Blue Pill, okay? This is the one. This is the OG chewable tablet for you to have better sex and be ready whenever the time arises. And we want the entire country rock hard, okay? That's the mission, okay? And we won't stop until every man is bricked up, till every tent is pitched, every rod is raised. And we want you to go to BLUECHEW.com to discover your options, a few different pills you can choose from. We've got a special deal. As always, you can try BLUECHEW free when you enter the promo code NASH at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. So for new customers, BLUECHEW.com, promo code NASH to receive your first month free. Visit BLUECHEW.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank BLUECHEW for sponsoring the podcast and the Tap Out. Kev, I think we've had Axl Rose on the Tap Out before. Modern day.
Who did I just see him? He came out with Billy Joel.
This is what I'm about to show you.
Oh,
see if he does any better.
I've seen this. To
see if it goes any better than the first one.
I actually had a chance to watch this clip, and I don't think I made it very long into it on a personal basis because I knew exactly where you were going because I did start to watch it. And I just thought, like, it was so bad. I said, could he ever sing? Like, that's kind of where it's like, it's so bad now.
Well, let's see.
And he kind of looks like Mickey Rourke. He's got like words. Like it's a crazy thing going on.
The sparkly jacket, a little kind of Vegas. So this was Billy Joel's last night at his residency at Madison Square Garden.
A little side story. I wrestled against the Disco Inferno on a South African tour.
Oh, I thought you meant recently.
No, I came out. I came out every night. I think we were the main event. I know we were the main event. And I came out to Guns N' Roses' "Live and Let Die," which he's going to sing here. I
don't know if it sounded. I don't think the recorded version sounded like this, but let's see.
No, I would not have came out to this.
Crowd sounds good. Chorus was all right.
Yeah.
The reason I picked this is because I thought this was a much better showing than.
All right, Axl. See, I'm not a hater, man. I'm all for it. Even though he looks like a combination of the cat that owns the Raiders.
Al Davis?
No, the other guy.
Oh, the new one?
The
Al
new
Davis
guy.
has been dead 20 years. It
Yeah.
shows how contemporary I am with my sports trivia. Well, no tap. Well, I think you're waiting to see how this goes right here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right, we'll cut it there. Yeah, so that's as long as we went.
That's it destroyed the other one. I mean,
that's as long as 80% of our
this is long enough to get a copyright strike and be demonetized. As a matter of fact.
Absolutely. Well, we'll just have to hold on. We'll just have to just go. Oh, cut that. There, whenever you think's good, Steve, just get us out
in the edit
before we get demonetized.
We'll just cut to the first note.
Yeah, fuck him. Who'd he ever beat?
Kev, Dear Sexy, it's time for. We're going to give Florida Man
right.
and Jersey Guy a break here.
Oh, thank God, because I just got Rubik's Cube figured out now, so
Exactly.
I got the psychology of it.
2 letters, actual letters that were sent to Dear Abby, but what if Kevin Nash was to give the advice to the writer, Dear Sexy? So first one is, Dear Sexy, my fiance said shut up during a recent conversation with my mom, using the phrase in the same way people say no way or get out of here to express friendly disbelief. Oh, shut up, like that. Mom didn't say anything and gave me no reason to believe she was offended. However, I did find talk like that better suited to friends and siblings, not parents or future in-laws. I hear a cowbell.
Cowbell.
As soon as we were alone, I asked my fiance, please do not use that expression with my parents. She said she'd try, but warned me that it might be hard to stop herself. A frequent reader of your column. She also said you probably would have told me to let it go. I suggest we find out. Should I have said nothing? And that's from Possible Prude in New Hampshire.
No, there's no possible about it. If she said, get the fuck out of here, what's the difference? Right? I mean, what is this? Just Norman Rockwell? Is this 1950, Dear Abby?
So it's a little too much to be offended by shut up.
Get out! Shut up!
Right. That's exactly what.
Shut the front door.
Right.
No, it's.
But he felt
shut up.
But he felt maybe shut up was disrespectful to say to his mother. He needs to relax.
Yeah, that's.
Now, you'd never say shut up to your mother-in-law, would you? You might have said, this is the last fucking time I'm flying with you and your daughter, but never shut up.
No, she's sweet too. No, I'm pretty tolerant.
Yeah, well, it depends on the day of the week. Depends on the weather. All right, second letter, Dear Sexy. So what the verdict was that he's being way too prudish.
Yeah, and it's just like why wouldn't you have the talk to your mother first? Like, wouldn't you have the discussion with your mom and say, Mom, when Carol said shut up, you do realize that she means like, you get out of here. You're like, that's like the new thing that kids do, I mean, would you not do that? And if she said, well, I didn't appreciate it, then you don't put your neck out on the line. You come back and now you're just the messenger. Well, I brought that thing up to Mom, and I thought it was nothing. Apparently, she took offense to it. Now you're not getting fucking sleeping on the couch.
Right.
And your mom, who you could, if worst case scenario, you have to go see less of, and you have to see her on your own.
And that's and right. He showed his
hand.
Don't want to. He showed his hand.
Yeah, you don't want to fucking. That just tells me that you're a mama's boy, and and Mom takes precedent over my wife.
All right, very good. Dear Sexy, I'm 28 and have dated my boyfriend Dan for 2 years. We've lived together for the past year. I fell for him the moment I laid eyes on him, and we've always imagined we would spend the rest of our lives together. My problem is Dan shows me almost no affection. He doesn't tell me he loves me unless I say it first. He never wants to cuddle next to me or hug me when he gets home from work. He insists that he loves me and says his lack of demonstrativeness is because he didn't grow up in an affectionate household that makes him uncomfortable. I feel Dan's an adult. He can choose to make his household, our household, one filled with love and affection. It's starting to make me question whether we really have a future together. Am I overreacting? That's from No Hugs, No Cuddles in Philly.
Well, no hugs, no cuddles. If he gets up in the morning and stands while he urinates, the ability for him to probably be affectionate is real minimum. Most guys have about maybe a 6 to 7% affectionate factor. I mean, it's just. I know.
Never to say he loves her, though. I mean, that's.
Oh, I tell my wife I love her all the time.
Yeah.
And that's no. Number one, if you're living with somebody, and that you're not telling each other, like we always tell each other we love each other before we go to bed.
Right.
So,
but he never initiates that. And he says it's because he grew up in a household without affection. Is this true? Could this be true? Or is there a side tale he's not telling her about? Please answer.
I'd get rid of him. I'd dump the fuck.
How long they been together? What was it? 2
years.
2 years.
I mean, I fell for him the minute I saw him.
She seems a bit. Maybe she's a bit much.
I fell for him the minute I saw him, but then now 2 years later, he's this cold-hearted. What you didn't like when you first met him and you hung out with him? He was affectionate and told people he loved them.
Probably not
all the time. No, it's just this is now 2 years into it, and you still don't have the fucking labia to fucking confront him and just say, hey man, like you gotta shit's gotta switch up. Don't be sending Dear Abby a letter. What the fuck's she gonna do?
I'm sensing childless cat lady.
I'm sensing fucking maybe she just needs to, you know what, if you're not going to tell me you love me, at least you can just eat my box.
All right, our high spot of the show every week is brought to us by our friends Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney at their Get Blitzed Lit Aid headquarters. That's right, we're talking nano-infused Delta-9 THC cyprin syrup. That's what they do best, and so much more to come. Kev, I think some pallets of sample beverages will be coming our way shortly to give our thumbs up on our flavors. But what we're talking about right now is the Delta-9 Sippin' Syrup. Super potent stuff like THC on steroids. It's a syrup. Mix it into any beverage like a tea or a white soda or energy drink, perhaps, with as little as a teaspoon. It's fast onset, okay? So don't overload yourself there. We're talking 5 to 15 minutes. Nano-infused means it goes right to your bloodstream, bypassing breakdown in the liver, and you're in chill mode, okay? If you're in Maryland, you can visit a Stay Lit smoke shop, but for the rest of us, it's legal to ship from the Get Blitzed website to all 50 states without a med card as long as you're over 21. And right now, you can save 15% by entering the code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q, at checkout. Go to get-blitzed.com. That's get-blitzed.com to try the Delta-9 THC Sippin' Syrup Lit Aid from Get Blitzed. Okay, use that promo code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q. Save 15%. Choose the flavor.
Hello, ladies.
And let us know how you like it.
Did you get some sun today?
Not today. I was running around a lot today. Why am I coming up a little tan, perhaps?
Yeah, you look like you got some. You look like you've been.
I was out in the yard. I was out in the pool.
It's kind of cool when you get some sun because it does something to the gray hair. You know, it always
makes it.
Yours is still. You've still got a lot of pigment in yours. Yours kind of is like
fading though.
Gunmetal. I'm turning more and much. I mean, I've got a little bit in there. When I take that peptide, that growth hormone peptide, my pigment will come back to a degree. But I mean, if not,
listen to the two of us. I feel like fucking Walter Matthau and
hey man,
Jacqueline, like I'm that Rappaport. The two of us sitting on the bench.
We put that time in, bro.
How's your gray hair? You got a little more pigment.
We're also
Did you use your code for BLUECHEW by any chance?
Here's one. I think that the reason that we are doing it also tonight is Mia, the oldest Oliver gal, is she's opening nights tomorrow night.
Opening night is tomorrow night at Plays in the Park. She got it's like her first professional show. She's still in college. She between her freshman and sophomore year, but we encouraged her. So I'll be there tomorrow, cheering her on, and She'll be great.
She looks great. I mean, she's got a great look.
Yeah.
Looks like a good. That's, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's expensive, and it's the chances of it paying off is limited. But man, Tamara and I talk about this all the time, and it was so important for us to make sure that when our son showed that affection and that drive to the arts, how that's so important.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, for me, like when you sent me that the picture of the cast,
The poster, yeah.
that makes it real.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden that makes it real to me, and it's just like, wow, like that's. And I'm thinking immediately, I look, she's on the top row, and I look at her shot. I'm like, yeah, she definitely looks like your wife.
Yeah.
She looks like you too, but she looks a lot like Nicole. And then I just thought to myself, like, fuck, man, like my boy's gonna be there watching his daughter, like, perform. Like, is there anything better than that?
No, it's great. I mean, I've seen her perform since she was little, but there was always that safety net of, like, everyone in the audience is there to see somebody in school or in the program, or when she would go out to compete, it was different. But this is the general
this is
public,
people buying tickets, right?
Sold out houses, and she's up there carrying. I mean, she's the female lead. You know, she's 18. But I got to tell you, and the thing, look, between my wife and I, there was no chance a doctor was being born into the family. They grew up on the stage and, you know, in the arts always, you know, and so that was the normal life. And one of the things I'm most proud of is that they grew up thinking that people that go to an office or a job, like, that's fucking weird to them. Like, not being in a show and not being.
And how exactly, hold on a second, how exactly did you end up a Democrat?
Right. No. Hey, listen, Scott Baio, you know. But the thing is, and the thing that I looked for, you know, after years of being in entertainment myself, and then my wife on, you know, me on both sides of the camera, her on both sides of the stage, they have talent, first of all, which makes it easy, you know, because you don't have to lie to your kid or try to dissuade them. They both have a unique talent, but they have the fearlessness. From the first time when my daughter went to audition for something outside the school environment in New York at the 52nd Street Project with other kids, but still all strangers, it was like, the discussion was like, where's my sheet music? What are we going to eat today? What time are you going to pick me up? It wasn't, my God, I'm so nervous. Oh my God. And even my little one, we sent her on a professional audition this year too, to go and sing. And she got up in front of the strangers, and just no fear. So to see that they have that, I'm like, okay, that's the first hurdle if you want to do this professionally. Most people are freaked out to speak in public.
Exactly. If you take that, the course of public speaking in college, there are so many fucking people, man, that just they don't graduate because they dodged that. But like, I can't do it.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
It's just.
But the other thing, the two things. So the fearlessness, talent and fearlessness, great. The thing that's trickier, and this will evolve over time, and you know this firsthand in your life, can you read things about yourself that are from the general public, that are critical and sometimes nasty? Do you have that thick skin? So the fearlessness is there, the talent's there. I hope the thick skin is there. You know, my oldest is a fighter, so I think she'll be all right. But it's you know, internally, what do you do to yourself? Anyway, hashtag Ask Nash is where you can ask Kevin questions about such things like his career.
Please make sure you wish her luck for me tomorrow.
I will 100%.
As they say in the business, break a leg.
That's it. Absolutely.
I never understood that.
Because you can't say the other. You can't say the GL thing. It's on the stage. You can't say that. So Thomas Gent has asked, Kev, have you ever tried kratom? really gets the pumps going. I've seen Kratom
I've
around.
tried it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's some. I had this conversation with Rob Van Dam when we were in Jackson, Mississippi, and he was like, he got involved with Kratom and was gonna sell his own line of Kratom and everything else, and it was just like, it's so unregulated and so all over the place that it's like I've had experiences with it where it's been good. I've had experience with it where it's not, and to me, if it's hit or miss, I know that a cup of coffee is a hit, so I'll just take my cup of coffee. Fuck it, man.
Fernham Schnavitz. Kevin, do you recall flying into Harrisburg International Airport, HIA, in your career in WWE? I live near Hershey, Pennsylvania, and it's only a few miles west.
No, we never flew. I don't. I know that I flew in there when. God, what did we do? Did we have TV there? Did we do a show? I know Dixie was there. Well, what we were doing in Harrisburg
for TNA?
It was not. I don't think it was for. I don't know if it was something that was business orientated that I was doing there, but I remember flying into Harrisburg.
Okay. Yeah,
that's the only time
those were all driving shots,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Philly, New York, Jersey.
I remember on probably one hand how many times I flew into Pittsburgh.
Even as far west as Pittsburgh, you would drive from. What was your hub then? Newark?
Shit, I've landed in Newark and and went as far as Yuma, Arizona on a loop.
You did tell me that once, yeah.
Yeah, that's shit, ridiculous. Man. You'd go 250 every night and
they
just go
you
west.
Out there and then,
you just go west and then turn it around on 10 and come up 10, man, and hit fucking El Paso. What's the next one? El Paso. Then I think it's Houston. Then I think it's Lake Charles. Then it's Biloxi, Pensacola, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, up the other coast, Florence, South Carolina. I mean, North Charleston.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
And our friends in the house here, want to ask Kev anything? What do we got? Always have an active bunch.
I've been everywhere, yeah.
Ace Ramon, I still think Kevin would make a great Herman for a Munsters cartoon, along with the following.
I wanted to play the...
Eva Longoria as Lily, Frankie Muniz as Eddie, Hilary Duff as Marilyn, Brian Doyle Murphy as Grandpa. Voice acting.
I wanted, when Rob Zombie was doing that Munsters film that I've never seen. Steve Wesley.
I didn't even know there
Did
was
anybody
one.
see
A Rob
that?
Zombie Munsters.
Garbage.
Yeah, okay, garbage is the review.
They did it bootleg during COVID in like Budapest or someplace like that.
Okay.
And they used his stunt guy to play the Herman. They used his wife to play Lily. And that was like my dream, was to be Herman Munster in the Munster. That was like my part. And when I found out that it's still there, I guess.
If they ever do a serious one and not the
Yeah.
cobbled together COVID version,
Right.
I think you should be up for it. And then you can turn it down after they offer it to you.
No, that's one that I would love, because I could be Herman. He was one of my favorites growing up.
There it is. An image from the...
This kind of looks like drag queen Munster story time.
Another one from the audience. What do we got? Come on, play us out. Who's here? Mr. Epic. Hypothetically, if I had to pitch a wrestling horror film where the shindy promoter starts killing the workers because he took a wash on the house so he doesn't have to pay him, would you listen? That says ask Sean, but let's ask Kev.
If it's an indie show, he's going to be beaten to death by about the third or fourth match. He doesn't pay. It's not like he's going to be, we get our money when? 3 weeks from now? Yeah. And in the meantime, I'll go on a killing spree.
I wouldn't do it as a one night thing. The way you should do that is the promoter over time, through mishaps in the ring, engineering mishaps in the ring, eventually kills off his entire roster, because he was doing it to aid the competition because his secret twin brother, separated at birth like basket case, is the promoter.
You one of the writers on Heels?
On Hacks. Next one. Come on, one more. Play us out. Matthew Chimura. Kevin, any good stories, memories working with Steve Mongo McMichael as he will be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame Sunday?
That's a great fucking dude, man. Remember, we were doing something and we had to cut him off, and Scott lunged at him, and Steve fed at the same time, and Scott was coming at him with the spray paint can, and they both just misjudged it. And Scott was always, you give Scott anything to hit you with, he's going to bust you open. You give Scott Hall a Q-tip in a wrestling ring, you're going to get juice. He's going to bust you open with that Q-tip somehow. And he hit Mongo and busted him, like hard weight him, and like we got in the back, and I didn't know Steve that well at that time, and I'm thinking like, oh, this big fucking football player is gonna go off, and it was just like he was talking to somebody, and we're all in the back, putting each other over, and for a shoot, it was dripping down, and it got to like here, and he just went like not to like fuck with it, but he didn't do it like to be a tough guy or do anything. He was just like, he was listening to what the person wanted to say, and he probably thought this would be rude. And I, of course, at the same time, I was saying, shut up. But
too rude. You can say it to him. He's not your mother-in-law.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just one of those deals. You're just like, that's the kind of guy that breaks in your house with a pry bar, and you're like, you've got a 5-shot 38 Smith & Wesson, and you're like, I don't have enough bullets.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop this fucking. I'm not going to stop this human. Yeah, he's a special guy.
Well, I'd like to remind everyone that Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Sean Oliver, and Nugget. Producer Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson. Theme song by Dale Oliver. Technical research by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2024. Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, want to do another one?
Need to ask Kamala.
Let us free. customer service never